What advice can you share for educating yourself on diversity, inclusion, and belonging topics?
There are many things to learn here. And first of all, accept the fact that you're going to learn and you're going to fail. But then I hope that from the fail, remember that you know better, you do better, right? It's a constant learning journey. Nobody here knows everything. Remember that, like open, be humble to accept that we are all here learning. So, and of course, like knowing that you want to learn is a very good step too. So I would recommend starting with the allyship journey, I would say, because it opened your eyes to, hey, there are like people around me that needs my help. And how you can, how you can interact with those communities and then learn from them and help them in a very positive way. So I would definitely recommend take a look on the allyship journey. And you can definitely find a lot of podcasts. You can just like type allyship journey at Spotify, you find like a podcast around there. So if you're part of the one community, I would say don't think that you know everything already. No, no, not at all. Like not at all. So I'm like I said, like a gay man, but I didn't know and still don't know so much about the trans identity. And like I told myself, like no, I also had this goals for myself every year. I try to jump in and understand better a community every year. So, like women, right? I constantly read about women in tech because, like, not only because of like only women, but other groups. You are going to have colleagues of yours that are part of those communities as well. So you need to also understand their journey, their life experiences. So yeah, definitely, if you're part of a community, still look for learning about other communities. That's definitely very, very important too. You touched the point of communities where I suggest you to talk to a member of a community if you want to learn more about it. So there was a very, very amazing case in my previous teams that I was at Spotify. I was with working the same team of like a Black Muslim woman, and then I was the gay, like a gay man there in the team, right? And then she came to me, and then the same time I was working with her, I read a book called American Islamophobia, and she was part of the book club that I mentioned before. So I learned a lot about the Muslim community through that book too, the struggles that they go through, and then we started to have conversations about that. But also started that she was asking my experiences in life as a gay man, right? And then it was this very amazing experience of exchanging experiences and understanding much more like of like each of us are going through in tech, in life, in different spaces, right? So um, so like definitely reaching out to members of communities and have like a very open, humble dialogue about what are their struggles. And tip one is never question their struggles. Don't, like, oh, but I had this discussion once, like in previous jobs, about some male colleagues not recognizing that they were being too harsh on like a female colleague that was submitting a piece of code, right? And they were questioning that no, they don't go through that, like we are always all good. But then I was asking, like, have you asked to these female colleagues about it? Yeah, she said that she's bad, but I don't think it's a bad thing. And it's like, so do not ever question someone's experiences, because that's true. Like you're not on their they're not on their scheme to judge them. So I think that's like very helpful as well.
Can you share any other influential people who have inspired you personally to do better within the world of diversity, inclusion, belonging?
Yeah, sure. So that is one. I have like four names. I mentioned already Kenji Yoshino. By the way, all of these people are LinkedIn, and then I follow them in LinkedIn. You can also do the same. You can read a lot of their content or their creation there. So Kenji Yoshino was the one that presented me the allyship for all. It was very inspiring. Lovette Jallow, she's very active here in like Sweden. She has won many prizes in human rights. She brings a very interesting perspective of racism in the European context and then in that workplace, especially in Sweden. Also, Lily Zhang, I read some of her content, and she brings a very interesting perspective of business and the DIB. So she always tries to, like, the thing that I talked about, the business case of the DIB, it's from her.
Yeah.
And then you can also hear more about those. So she brings a very interesting perspective of business and the DIB. And Cassie, I had the pleasure to work with him. He's a Brazilian as well. Cassie, he really changed my perspective of DNB. I learned a lot from him, and I'm like, I wouldn't be here without him. Like, I think that he gave me a lot of tools. He gave me, we had very interesting conversations about the topic in industry. And then he also has very good content in content in LinkedIn, so I also recommend you to follow.